Hello and welcome everyone to SAP CPI Training. So my name is Rahul. I'm going to take the session for today, and we are going to cover these agenda topics. So we'll discuss what is the course content, how it is going to be covered, what are the days that we are going to take. Then we get into what is integration, what is middleware, what exactly is CPI that you are interested into, and we are interested into imparting training on that, and what it takes to get it certified in CPI. And then at the last, we'll talk about why you should go and choose us as a partner. So first question is, who can learn? So definitely you have the interest in learning, so you are here. So definitely you can learn. But there is a question, what from a skill set perspective, that I should have some knowledge, then I can learn. So definitely, if you are working any of the, it's not a rocket science that okay, you need to have something in background that you can learn it, because this is CPI is a middleware which is basically dependent upon multiple things, and it is not a prerequisite that you should know a programming language, you should know something around it. So anybody can learn with a little bit technical knowledge. Why I'm saying little bit technical knowledge or the basic technical knowledge? Because at the core of it, it is going to use XML or the JSON. So that's where I have shared those very good YouTube videos where you can just go through it. And definitely those are the jargons that we are going to use throughout the program. So at least that is the basic understanding that you need. You need not to be a master in that XML or JSON, but if you understand the basics, then definitely you can pick it up. Whether you have worked in SAP or non-SAP product, this is the course that you can enroll and then learn it. And most of you, as you mentioned, that you are coming with the PIPO background, because that is the another middleware tool from SAP that is being used on premise. But if you want to upskill yourself, then definitely it is for you. Then you can learn it and then start executing your skills into CPI. So I'll talk about the course content. So today we are at the first session that we are going to cover the demo, and then we'll understand on day 2, we are going to understand what is the SAP cloud strategy, what is the architecture of CPI, and what is BTP. So you might have heard of these jargons by now if you are interested into CPI. So we are going to start from the basic. We'll understand how it is evolved, at what core it is existing, and what is the building blocks of CPI. So we'll not just simply start with creating something and then getting into it. First, we'll understand what are the different jargons that are being used. What are the nitty-gritties of CPI, how it is evolved, how to set up a tenant, what are the roles and authorization that is required. So we'll get into those details on day 2. And on day 3, we'll introduce you to CPI, the web tool that would be required to build your integration. So here at this step, we are going to set up a personal tenant for each one of you. So I'll show you in the session itself how to set up, and then you can set up a tenant for yourself that you will be using for executing all of your scenarios. And we'll build one more scenario, one basic scenario on day 3. Day 4 and 5. So there are many design objects that is required to build any custom integration, or that are part of the standard integrations, the pre-packaged integration that comes with CPI. So first of all, we'll understand each one of it. So most of the design objects that are there, at least 90 to 95% of the objects we are going to cover. And first, we'll understand why it is required, how to use it, and where we can use it. So those 2 days, 2 sessions, we are going to understand each object. And then day 6 would be mapping and the pre-packaged content. So on this day, so we'll understand now that as we are talking about middleware, So those who are not having understanding of middleware, they will come to know during the course of this session itself. Because when we talk about middleware, we basically talk about source system and a target system. How the data is being sent from the source system, what is the format in which the system is sending that data, and how it is expected on the target side. And normally the structures are not same, the data types are not same. So to match that requirement, there is a mapping that is going to be used, and we are going to discuss that on day 6. And the pre-packaged content. So there is a lot of content from SAP that is available in CPI that is pre-packaged. What does that mean? It is just a configurable package content that you do not go and build the integration. The integration is already built. You have to just configure it. You have to tell what is the sender system detail, what is the target system detail. That's it. Day 7, 8 and 9 is about the advanced design objects. So by now we will be able to learn the basic design objects and start using it. Day 7, 8 and 9 would be filter and routing palette. These are the basically the patterns where we can enhance our basic flows based on some requirement, whether we are going to collect some message, gather some message, or we want to filter some message. So these are the advanced design objects that we are going to use, and there would be practicals involved in each of this. So when I say day 3 onwards, it would be all practical sessions. So in all the sessions, we will be live. We'll be building the scenarios right there in the class itself. There would be nothing from a previous class or recorded session that we are going to present to you. So we are going to explain first. We are going to build that, use that design objects, build a scenario or iFlow around it, and then we'll discuss that as well. So these are the few design objects that are required for the pattern-based integration, and we are going to cover each one of it on days 7, 8 and 9. Day 10 would be process direct and the local integration process. So these are the, this is one of the adapter, process direct and the local integration process, which is used to modularize your integration flows. Modularization means when you want to break it, the larger integration into smaller, or from a perspective of error handling, better error handling, you can use the local integration process. So we are going to cover that, and we are going to explain the various options around it. Day 11 would be adapters in CPI. Although by day 10 itself, we might have used at least 3 to 4 basic adapters that would be used to show the demo around it, the design objects. But here we are going to cover any of the adapters that is not discussed by now, be it SOAP adapter, ODATA, HTTP, SFTP, FTP, GMS. There are many adapters that are delivered from SAP, and we'll also talk about few adapters which is not available out of the box, but by using or installing them, you can bring it to the list of the out-of-box adapter, be it Salesforce adapter, ServiceNow adapter, and there are many more adapters that are being planned by SAP, which we are going to show you how to install those adapters and how we can use it into CPI. And after day 11, on day 12 and 13, we are going to start a project which is going to be covered in 2 sessions. That is called, we are going to cover a scenario based on the logistics flow. And by this time, what is our intention here? That okay, now you have learned the design objects, the basic one, the advanced one, you have learned the mapping, you have learned the adapters. So let's start executing our learning into a project format. So these 2 sessions you will be building along with us. We are going to create a project which is going to use these conversions, transformations, exception handling, sending the data alerts to an email. So all of that we are going to cover in 2 sessions. Day 14 would be monitoring in CPI. The basic monitoring would be covered throughout these sessions by now, but what are the advanced options or what are the other options, be it security, storing your credentials, using the certificates, where to store it, what are the options that we are going to cover on day 14. Day 15 would be all about security and exception subprocess in detail. So what are the different security options that are available in CPI? What are the different connectivity options, be it message level security, transformation level security, authentication, PGP encryption, all kind of details we are going to cover the advanced things on day 15. Day 16 is about Cloud Connector, ECC and S/4HANA integration, where we are going to build the integration with on-premise system. We'll show you how to use Cloud Connector, how to set up Cloud Connector, what is the use of it, what are the different options that you can use with Cloud Connector, be it RFC, IDOC, web services, all kind of integration that is required with ECC or S/4HANA system. We are going to cover live on day 16. Day 17 would be about Groovy script in SAP CPI. So there is a scripting language that is being used when you are not able to fulfill your requirement with the standard thing. So this is an option that you can use, whether to read the content, to build the content, or to write some function, or to just simplify your requirement. Let's say you are having a logic which requires a nested if-else condition or a switch case statement. So where you are having a 10 different statements, although you can build it with your mapping in a standard way. But if you want to simplify, you can also use Groovy script. So it is not a mandatory thing, but definitely good to have, because in some of the scenarios, you have to be dependent upon Groovy script as well. So that we are going to cover on day 17. Day 18 would be around SuccessFactors integration. So SuccessFactors is a cloud-based offering from SAP. So here we are going to learn the integration with the on-premise system. Here we are going to learn the integration with on-cloud system. So we'll show you the SuccessFactors system and how we can integrate with the SuccessFactors system. So with that, I'll take a break. I'll just hold my tongue, and in case you have any question or any topic that you were specifically looking for and that is not part of the agenda or not part of the course content, please let me know so that we can tell you what can be covered, what cannot be covered.
According to the integration part, you will be covering like non-cloud to cloud, cloud to cloud, and SAP to cloud. Like that, you are covering all the scenarios.
Yes, all those scenarios, at least one scenario each would be definitely covered. Cloud to cloud, cloud to on-premise, on-premise to cloud, and on-premise to on-premise as well.
Non-cloud to cloud means non-SAP.
Yeah, so non-cloud can be on-premise. Let's say you can connect to a third-party system or SFTP or FTP adapter or sending the data to an email. So all that would be covered.
So with some examples, you will be covering all the adapters like process director, files, so IDOC.
Yes. Any other question? Anyone? Anything on the topic list that you were probably looking for and you did not find it, or probably that is not part of the text here? You can ask me and I'll be able to help you around. That okay, these are the topics that are available on this particular day, how it is going to be covered. Any question is welcome. Okay, if there is no other question, I'll move on. Okay, so let us understand what is integration. As most of you are coming with the PIPO background, so probably you know integration, what it is. But let us take an example to set the context here. These are the building blocks of the training program. So I'll like to start with integration, what exactly it is. So let me take an example of a startup company. Let's say Flipkart or Amazon, when they started an e-commerce platform. Let's say they were doing the exchange with the system, whether it is an email system or a third-party system or some Java-based application. And let's say they started with an SAP as their core system, the application system. Okay, so I'm taking an example, though SAP was not that cheap at that point of time as well. But as most of the things would be revolving around SAP, so I've taken an example of SAP. So let's say this is the core application system where they are which they are using for their needs, whether it is sales, distribution, manufacturing, all their needs. And there is only 2-3 systems which they are connecting or integrating. Okay, they might be connecting to their manufacturers, or they might be integrating with their Java based application, or they might be relying on their email communication. So these are the arrows which are pointing an integration in scope that they are integrating with. And slowly and steadily they move on to a web-based portal. From selling the goods from a like a application system, managing everything there, they adopted a web portal, or they launched a website, be it Amazon.com or Flipkart.com. So then they started the goods from their website. So as they introduce a new system, so another kind of integration would be built with the existing system. When I say integration, it is the data exchange that is happening. And when they enhance the business to little further, they allowed the business partners that okay, now you are also, they start the integration, B2B integration rather than B2C. Earlier they were business to customer integration that they were doing. Now it is the another partners also that they can come and sell the products on their websites, because this is a push that they have given to their business. Just by sourcing everything by themselves, now they are allowing partners to have the integration. Now as they introduce another partners, so it can be 1, 2 or n number of partners, those have they grown up to, so more integrations would be required. So partners might be using some others, because there are n number of partners, they might be using different formats of integration, so that tend to a lot more integration. And then let's say they started storing the data into different databases rather than relying on the standard SAP provided databases. So many of the business partner information they might be storing on the SQL database or DB2 or Oracle, any kind of database, they might be storing that information. But what has been created as a here with the grown in integration, with the rise in integration, there is a web of integration that is getting built here, right? So there are point to point connection that are getting built. So there would be, what are the challenges that is going to come with this kind of integration? From a company perspective, they're rising it, they're growing more and more. But this web is getting created and it is going to create a lot of challenges. What can be those challenges? What are the integration challenges they might come across? Because now they are talking to lot many systems. So first thing is managing all those systems at a different point to point connection. It is going to be very difficult. Second thing, the error handling, that is going to be very difficult. Let's say you as a consumer, as a customer, you ordered some product from Amazon or Flipkart. Now that product might be sourced from a business partner. Okay, you will get a delivery date that okay, within 3 days your order will be delivered. But let's say You did not like the product and you want to return it. Then again, they have to create an open channel with the business partner that, okay, with the customer there is an integration, with the partner there is an integration, with the logistic partner who is going to deliver. A lot many integration and error handling scenarios can be generated with that. And on top of that, there would be different data formats that would be there. Might be the logistic partner is storing the data into a database table. The business partner might be storing the data as a web service. The WSDL format, they want to have an integration with that. Or on the portal, it is a different format. So as the connections are growing, the total cost of ownership, because as you are having number of integration, your total cost of ownership is going to be more, and you need different skilled people as well, right? So as there are different connectivity types, different error handling, so you need somebody who understands SAP, you need somebody who understands Java, or you need somebody who have understanding of database. But all of these are going to be there, and there are challenges with the integration. But what can be done? Because it is a very common scenario. When it is a bigger company, definitely they will be having a lot of partners, customers, vendors. So integration is required. It is need of an hour that is required, but how to overcome it? What are the options that we have? So all of these systems that I was talking about on the previous slide will be having at least one integration option that can be done, whether it is a file-based integration at the base level. So if it is a, let's say, old system, very old technology system, because any system that is there, they have the option to integrate, they have the option to send and receive data from the external world, be it into a format of a file, whether it is a comma separated file, XML file, or anything else, or a database. It can be leveraging or sending the data outside using an SQL, Oracle, AS2, DB2. At the minimum, they might be having some level of database that would be there as an integration option. Or if it is a modern day cloud-based offering, then it might be relying on all these protocols. So protocol, simple object access protocol, that is there for web services, or the REST framework, the open data protocol, that is there for all the modern day cloud-based offering, whether it is a SuccessFactors, Salesforce, Monday.com, Fieldglass, Concur. So all the SAP or non-SAP cloud-based offering, they rely on these kind of protocols. Or let's say if you're talking about SAP system, .NET system, or Java-based system, they might be having the integration option. They might be having a file-based at the basic, but the commonly used integration type can be remote function call or a business API. So if it is a SAP system, they might be having all these options: RFC, BAPI, IDOC. And if it is a B2B partner, they might be relying on the electronic data interchange, that is the EDI format. So the context here is that at least one of the integration option would be available to you when you want to integrate. So that is on the protocol side, that is on the integration option side. But what about the rest of the challenges, the error handling, monitoring, total cost of ownership, other challenges, how to resend the data? Those can be mitigated, those can be made as a cost optimization, resource optimization by using a middleware. A middleware is the tool. What it is, let us understand. So a middleware is a software that is used to bridge the gap between the application and other tools or the databases. So in the simplest way, this is the representation of a middleware. So it can be a software application that can be in your landscape, that is on-premise, or it can be on cloud as well. But what it is going to take is a request. Request is that what is going to be coming from the sender system and how it is going to send the data to a receiver system. So based on these protocols, it is going to interact with the sender and the receiver application. Let's say sender is a cloud application. They might be sending the data into a SOAP format, but my target system is a file system. So I might be getting the request into a SOAP format, and then within the middleware I'll do the transformation, I'll convert it, and then as per the requirement of my target system, I can send the data as a file, as a database query, whatever is the requirement. That for doing that, middleware is an option that can be used. It can be located on-premise, on cloud, and on top of that, not just simplifying the integration, it will allow me to monitor and do the exception handling. Let's say you got a request, but it was not well formed or it was having some issue, then you can inform back to the system that okay, yes, there is an error, you have to resend it. And if it is failing in middleware, you can go and fix it. And if it is failing at the target system, you can still send a alert to the system that okay, we sent something but it is not getting processed. So any kind of monitoring can be done. So when it is very few integration as a company, as an organization that you have to do, let's say only 5-10 integration at the max that are there, then you can live without a middleware. You can build those programs, the exception handling for those kind of integrations. But let's say if it is more than 10 or it is 1000, 200, 50, 100 plus. So if that is the level of integration that is required, so that's where when I took an example of an emerging or a startup, they might not use a middleware. But when it grows, definitely the integrations are growing. They have to use some sort of middleware. And you might heard of these names probably as in any industry, whether it is SAP, non-SAP. If you are coming from any background, you might have heard of at least one of these names, whether it is a Tibco, Mulesoft, IBM, Oracle Service Bus, or SAP's two offerings are there from a middleware perspective, PIPO and CPI. So CPI is the core of this training program and we are going to focus on that. So now let us understand that what is middleware, how a middleware can sort out that integration or the web that we have created with that particular diagram here. So now moving on from this diagram where we are having point-to-point integration, lot many integration going from let's say web portal to manufacturer, web portal to Java system, SAP to partner, email, manufacturer, third-party system. So all of that can be replaced by using one middleware. So here in the center, I have used a middleware that is Cloud Platform Integration. Okay, it can be any other middleware as well. It's not that it cannot be done with PI, Oracle, or WebSphere, or Tibco. But for this training program, we are going to focus on CPI. So a middleware is the option or the way forward if you want to do the integration. So now you look at it, all of those point-to-point integrations are gone. So everything, each and everything is pointing to CPI and going from there. Let's say I have now an integration with the business partner that I want to work on, and then I'll send the data to CPI. CPI will send the data to either a file-based system or a JDBC system or a web portal. So now if I take an example again that as a customer you placed an order on this web portal. So it will send first the request to CPI, whether it has to be routed to a partner or to a manufacturer or to an email. CPI will take care of that and any of your integration through web portal is sorted out. So you have to just send the data to CPI. Let's say you are getting the data from any of the SAP system, the application system that the organization was using. So you have to send the data to middleware, from where it has to be routed to any of these application or this system. So that is how, after using a middleware, your integration would be eased out. There is no cumbersome mesh that was created earlier. Error handling would be at a great extent, so that everything or anything that is failing, you have this central application, central system, whether it is PI, PO, CPI or any other middleware, you can monitor it at this single place. Any kind of error that is going to happen, you can alert the respective stakeholders based on this tool. And that is how the middleware is going to be helpful, and we are going to talk about one such middleware, that is CPI, throughout this training program. With that, I'll take a break for a minute and I'll be open to question. Any questions are welcome. What is integration? What are the challenges with integration? And what exactly is a middleware? And why to use it, where to use it?
Rahul, what is the meaning of on-premise?
Sure.
You said it can be located on on-premise or cloud. I'm okay with cloud. What does exactly the meaning of on-premise?
Okay, thank you. Very good question. Definitely, this is the term that is going to be used throughout this program. So on-premise means when you have any system that is located in your landscape. Let's say if I talk about your personal laptop or a computer, desktop computer that you are using. So that is somewhere located in your territory, in your home, that you know this is the physical address, this is the IP address of my system, and these are the details of my system, where you know everything about it. That is something on-premise. That is for personal front. If it is an organization, so what was the era of on-premise systems in the past, because everything is moving to cloud. So you used to have all the systems, all the laptop, all the desktop in your organization where you know the physical address, the IP address. Let's say if I talk about an example of our college days, where we used to have that LAN and the proxy server. Okay, so let's say this is the proxy server, and these are all the systems on the local area network. Okay, then the admin of our lab or the lab in charge, they used to know, okay, if somebody has used the internet for more than 10 minutes, the expected limit that they normally used to set it at that time. So they know the IP address of that system, okay, who is going to access the file from which system. So within that network, they were having all the details. But when we talk about the reverse scenario on the cloud, normally we do not get to know from where the request is coming. Okay, let's say you are using a Google gmail.com. Do you know from where that request has came in? From which IP address Google has responded? Or who was the sender of that email, from where it is generated, until unless you go and debug and then filter it, find it out. So basically, the short answer is anything that you know where it is located, what is the address, is on-premise. Anything that you are unaware of it, that is coming a request on the website, on the HTTP protocol, anything on the internet that you cannot find it out, is on cloud. And we are going to cover more about it in the next session, where we'll talk about what is the SAP cloud strategy, what is the cloud computing, the different concept of cloud computing. I'll take those questions around that as well.
Thank you.
Good question. Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to know what are the advantages of with CPI rather than PI?
Okay. So yes, Girish, advantage, disadvantage. So I have a slide where I'll present you what are the different options we can use. but let's not get into the comparison as of now. But I have a slide where I can show you, like here. Probably I would like to take it into the next session. What are the different type of integration? What can be used? So definitely the short answer I'll give you when we talk about CPI. So as such, it is not a successor, it is just a complementary tool. Okay, so PIPO can do each and everything that is listed down here. That's where I said that okay, but it is the way forward from SAP. The best advantage I can tell you is the pre-packaged content. So there is a lot of pre-packaged content that is available from SAP and non-SAP vendors as well. So all of the cloud-based offering from SAP, whether it is SuccessFactors, Fieldglass, Ariba, Concur, so all of it is having a lot of pre-packaged content that you hardly have to build any basic scenario with these applications, which was limited in PIPO, and the options was also limited when we have to use it. Otherwise, it is more or less the same as the middleware. What PI can do, CPI can also do. Okay.
Hi Rahul, are you going to cover any B2B related CPI scenarios in this training?
Okay, good question, Girish. So B2B integration is basically when you will be working on the enterprise edition. So enterprise edition of CPI, that is owned by organization. So as of this training program, will not be able to cover the B2B integration because we do not have a license to enterprise platform or enterprise tenant, because that option would be available with that only. But yes, from a theoretical perspective, the AS2 adapter and all, how they're going to work, that will tell you. But the practical scenario for B2B will not be possible.
Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you, Girish. And I'll be very candid and transparent with you whenever anything that I can cover, I cannot cover, I'll tell you upfront. So nothing is hidden here. Any other question on integration, middleware tools? Okay. If there is no other question, I'll move on. So we'll go to the next level of it. Now at least we know the basic, what is integration and what is a middleware. So, but most of things, as we were discussing, that has been moved to cloud or will move to cloud in the future. So what are the best options that we can integrate? So we can integrate using a web service or a API. What exactly it is, if we know what exactly it is, then it would be easy for us to integrate with these applications as well. So I'm going to cover one basic example, what is an API or a web service, how it is related to our day-to-day life as well. So definitely by now you might have used any of food delivery application in your phone, or probably you might have gone to a restaurant in your life. So normally when you go to a restaurant, you place an order with the waiter. They will go back to the kitchen, to the chef, and they will ask the chef to prepare your dish. And then what you are going to get is your order at your table. But these days, as the things are digital, things are moving, and during the COVID as well, so we might have used the food delivery application, be it Zomato, Swiggy, Uber Eats, or many other applications are there. So how the process works with the food order booking and what is the flow, I'm going to take that and I'll relate that with the API process or a web service process. So first of all, when you want to place an order with any of the restaurant of your choice, what you are going to do on the application of your choice, you are going to browse the restaurant. Okay, the first thing, what is the option it used to give is that, okay, it will detect your location and what are the nearby options. It will show you the name of the restaurant and what is the specialty of that restaurant, whether it is Indian, North Indian, South Indian, Chinese, Mughlai, whatever it is going to give you that option. Okay, you narrow down on the restaurant option, and the next thing is you will look at the menu of it. Okay, so in the menu you might shortlist one of the dish. Let's say you are interested in eating a pizza today. Then let's say you will finalize, okay, this is the pizza, I'm going to go for it, whether it is a veggie lover or a meat lover, based on your choice, you are going to choose an pizza. And then if you want to customize it or you want to place an order straight away, then you will just click on it and you will place the order. So as a customer, these are the 4 things that you are going to do. Customer choose the desired option, put the desired option that they want to eat, and then the payment option. And after that, the request would be sent from the food delivery option. And if you have checked recently, even they are saying that the recent food delivery changes that has been came in, once you place the order, it cannot be cancelled, right? So within 1 minute you can cancel, but after that you cannot do it. So something like that. So you have placed an order and then it will go to the restaurant or the kitchen from where you have placed the order. And this is the place, number 5 on the screen, where you have totally lost the control. So after placing the order, you do not have the control. Now after 1 minute, as per the recent updates in the food delivery application, you cannot even cancel it. So that will go to the kitchen. So he will check, okay, what is the menu item you are looking for. The chef is at work. He or she is going to start cooking that particular item for you within the predefined time. Let's say the order delivery is 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So based on the number of orders in hand, they will start preparing your order. But at this place, you are not bothered how the chef is going to cook that food for you. So what ingredients he is going to put, it would be based on your requirement. But as a customer, you do not have a control here. It is gone from you. So whatever the dish he is going to prepare, he or she is going to prepare, that is going to be delivered to you. But yes, it would be as per the menu item that you have chosen. But you cannot enhance it anything here because you have already placed the order. So once the order is placed, once the order is prepared in the kitchen, they will hand over to the delivery agent. Okay, the delivery agent, whether it is a restaurant delivery agent, direct delivery agent, or the food delivery agent, the Zomato or the likes of Swiggy, they are going to receive the order and they will come to your doorstep and then they will hand over the food to you, right? So that is a typical food journey that is going to happen when you are going to use a food delivery application. Or if you are sitting in a restaurant, the same thing is going to happen. Rather than the delivery agent, it is going to be waiter who is going to take the order from you. It will be prepared in the kitchen and they will bring back the order to you. Okay, so this is a service that you have used in a typical day-to-day life, right? It is a service for you, right? Now if I replace this service at each and every step with the jargons that would be used in our integration world. So the first step was the finding a restaurant is replaced by API Hub or UDDI directory. So what is API Hub? It is a place where you can find the option that, okay, I want to do an integration. Let's say you want to do an integration where you want to find the sum of 2 numbers at the very basic. Then you will find it out, okay, is there any API? Is there any program that is written available on the internet that can help me rather than building it from the scratch? Or Let's say you want to check it out, what is the weather today in my city, or what is the weather today at a particular zip code. Okay, then what you will do, rather than writing that program, there are many APIs and the web services available on the internet, free of cost as well as paid based on your need, that can be used. So you will go, and if you're working for a specific application, then you will go to the API hub of that particular application. There is an API from SAP.com, from Google, from Microsoft, where they store all the application, all the functionalities that they provided, that can be consumed, that can be used by outside world. And then next thing, you will browse the API. That okay, let's say you put it that okay, I want to place a sales order, or I want to create a sales order, or I want to find the details of a particular user in that particular API hub. Then you will check it out. It might be one option, or there can be more than one option that you can use it. Okay, and then as a next item, you will choose an API. The way you chosen your pizza, now you will go and choose that okay, this is the API that looks promising as per my needs, so probably I can go with that. In the previous case, we were not having the option to taste our food, but in this case we are having an option to test an API. Rather than sending the request directly, most of the API hubs will allow you the option to test an API. That means you can check the result upfront, that okay, if I'm going to send this 5 fields as an input, this is the information. If I'm going to provide that to this API, this is the result I'm going to get. So that is the difference that you're going to get with a web service or an API. As the next thing, the request would be sent to the kitchen. What is the kitchen here? In this case, it is the source of that program. But as a customer, as a consumer, you are not worried about it the way you are not worried about how the food is going to be prepared by the chef. In this case, it is going to hit the URL, the location where the source code of that particular API is existing. In what language that program is written, you hardly care about it, because what you are interested into is the result of that API. Okay, so that's where this does not matter for us. We are looking for the result of it. What is the source of our API, whether it is written in CPI, Java, .NET, we don't care about it. What we are looking for is, okay, what is the protocol that is being used, whether it is a web service, that is a SOAP-based protocol, whether it is an ODATA protocol or the REST framework, the REST architecture, the JSON format that is going to be retrieved by us as a result. That is what we are interested into. So in case of delivery agent, this is replaced by the protocol. So they will, the chef will provide the result of it, what is expected, and the result would be sent back to you here on the same program. If you are even testing it or you are using it in your program, then it would be delivered to you. Okay, so that is how the API, the application programming interface or the web service is going to work. So it is a kind of service that is available over the internet to fulfill your needs. So that is an API and web service for you. So let me take an example. I'll show you on the SAP API Hub as well. So there is a place available. Give me a second, I'll open it. So if you, I hope you can see the browser window as well. Can you see the browser?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm taking you to one of the API Hub. Please be on mute if you're not talking. So this is the API Hub of SAP.com. So api.sap.com. And here is the option that you can explore so this is like your menu card now. First is you have finalized, okay, this is the API that I'm going to use from SAP, and based on the various products they have listed down, let's say related to your menu card, whether it is a single restaurant who is serving all the different cuisines, be it North Indian, Italian, South Indian, then you have to find it out like something you have to go to that particular section. If it is a large menu, it's a large restaurant, there might be 10 to 12 different pages of the menu itself. Then based on your need, you can go and figure it out. Let's say I want to check something for S/4HANA. So I'll go to this particular section and it is going to show me that okay, it is having various options that we can use to do an integration with. Okay, if not, if you're simply interested in directly API, so you can click on it. Okay, so it is going to list down all the APIs and the different formats, whether it is SOAP based API or a ODATA based API, and you can simply search from here as well. Let's say if I'm going to use it for sales order, I'll filter it out. Then it is showing me, okay, from SAP, these are the various APIs that are available that you can use, let's say sales order. I'll click on it. It will give me the enough details that I can use to understand what is the nature of that API that is there, what is the purpose of that API, what it is going to, whether it is going to fulfill my requirement or not. What is the status? It is active. It is a SOAP based. What are the different API attributes? I can go and check it that. What are the authentication that is going to use? And there is a documentation around it. It will open another channel where I can read it, okay, what it is going to do. Before even using it, I am getting all those options that can be important for me to decide how I can use it. What is the API reference if there is any, okay, and then I can go and check it out the further details and I can test it as well. So that is how an API would look like. And probably if you're using a Google based API hub, and then you can go to APG of Google and then you can check it out there as well. So there are many options available on any of the API hubs that you can go for it. This is how the APIs are going to work. So as a customer or a consumer, you only need to provide the basic input to it, and you need not worry how it is going to be providing you the result back to you. Similarly here, when I'm going to choose this sales order API, so I'm not worried whether it is written in ABAP, Java, what programming language at the back end. I'm simply going to give the input to it and get the result out of it. With that, I'll take a pause here. Any question on understanding what is API, what is web service, how it is going to work? Please ask. Any question?
Basically, CPI is a platform as a service, or what it is?
What SAP?
CPI.
CPI is platform as a service. So I'm going to tell you in detail what are the different type of cloud platform, whether it is a SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So it is CPI is platform as a service. So I'm going to tell you how it is falling under that category, how we can use it. That is part of the next session. Any other question? Is it all clear? What is API or a web service? At the basic level, definitely when we are going to take examples, we are going to use the practical sessions. it would be more clear if you have not used it in the past.
Hey Rahul, what's the difference between ODATA and you said SOAP, right? So SAP, you showed the sample sales order, it shows type SOAP, SOAP, right? So
Right.
I mean now SAP has all ODATA, right? So what is the difference?
Okay. So as of now, as a basic, you understand these are both the option for a service. So it is a different protocol that would be used. So let's say in this example, the sales order, it is SOAP, but there would be, for example, here it is ODATA. If I'm going to open this one, I'll show you. So for you, it is going to be just as a service. SOAP is basically dependent upon a particular structure that is of a SOAP protocol that it is going to follow. So technically, it is going to have a header, body, and the optional attachment that can be there with the SOAP. But with ODATA, it is the recent, it is the latest and the greatest of this time. Most of the cloud-based services are using ODATA, and they are winding up with the SOAP-based integration. The reason being, it is a lightweight. It can share the data into an XML or JSON, but it is not having the overhead of managing the headers and the body, the additional protocols that we are going to have with SOAP. But in a nutshell, both are the services that is available on the internet. It is going to fulfill the more or less the same requirement. So for example, here in the API, this is a ODATA API, where I am having all the options that, okay, if I want to check it, if I want to just connect it, I can test it here as well. Let's say here it is showing tryout. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So as of now, not to be confused, just keep in mind that they are going to serve the service. They are a service for you that is going to help you. Definitely it will depend what are the options available to you, but also from a architecture standpoint, OData is preferred because of its lightweight. But when it comes to the complexity or when it comes to security, SOAP is preferred. So it is totally dependent upon what is your requirement and what is the volume of, or whether the security is important or the pace is important. So that's where we are going to decide. But if only one option is there, then you cannot decide. So these days, anything new that is coming for web services, any web-based integration would be coming on the OData protocol, not on the SOAP one. Let's say if I take an example of a SuccessFactors system, so both the options are there. SOAP-based, OData-based, it is up to you which you want to use it. Any other question?
Nowadays, they were integrated with the BTP and they were accessing BTP through cloud and all. So can we cover that topic?
Your voice is low. Who is speaking?
Satya.
Yes, Satya, your voice is a bit low. Can you be a bit louder?
Nowadays, everything is moving onto BTP to access other cloud things. Are we going to cover those things?
So it's not like that everything is moving to BTP and all. So basically it depends upon what is your investment into, right? So not everybody is using. So let's say the cloud-based offering are into the market for almost 10 years now, but still the people are not using it to full potential. So it will depend upon customer to customer that, okay, how you want to move forward, what is your roadmap, whether you want to go with a cloud-based offering or API-based offering. So yes, the options are available from the various vendors, whether it is SAP, Microsoft, they are giving you all the options. Whether you want to use the cloud-based offering under the BTP umbrella, or you want to use it, the on-premise based offering, all the options are still there. but definitely the way forward is cloud-based offering. Any other question?
Are you
Yeah.
covering at least some scenarios on BTP as well?
Yes, so BTP is as a framework. Under that it is a technology platform. I'll tell you, then probably I think there's a doubt in your question that we are covering CPI, which is part of the BTP, but BTP is an open platform from SAP, which is basically a combination of developer network plus the customer or the consumer network. So I'll explain you in the next session what exactly it is and what we are going to cover under it. So anything to do with CPI under the BTP we are going to cover, but not the anything, let's say the app programming that you can do or the API management that you can do. That is not part of the program. Did I answer your question, Satya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. Moving on. So now we understood what is API, what is a service. So anything over the internet that you can use it as a service where you can send the request and get the response is the integration for you, whether you are going to use it with middleware or without middleware. So let me quickly.
What is the full form of API?
Application Programming Interface.
Okay.
Okay, so it is basically a program because you as a user are going to interact through an interface. Let's say you are using a mobile application, okay, where you are going to, let's say you are using Google Maps. Now you as an input, you are getting an interface to you in front of you, right? There is an app which is showing you from location to location and what is the mode of transport that you want to use. Let's say you put it from Bangalore to Chennai, I want to go. Then there are 4 options. Let's say you want to go with the car, train, walking. Those are the, or a cab option. So it will show you that is an interface for you. Now at the back end of it, what is going to happen once you give that input to Google Map UI, the user interface, from to and the mode of transport. Based on that, it is going to make a call to the Google servers wherever that program is written. So for you, it is an API call that is happening. So you are not bothered how it is going to get the data, what is the best route that you can use. So it will tell you each and everything based on your inputs, right? So that is an API call for you because you are giving that input through a UI interface. Okay?
Okay, Rahul. Thank you.
Okay. So let's start with the basic demo in CPI, how easy it is to build a demo in or to work in CPI. So I'll just take you to the system and I'll show you one demo. We are going to use a product-based integration. So I'm logging into the system. So this is the URL which is going to be used. And the good part, and probably one more advantage over PI, you asked the question, it is a web-based tool where each and everything can be managed under one window, rather than going to multiple ESR, ID, runtime, all 3-4 different applications for a single use. Here each and everything is under this particular web-based application, just one tool. Ease of development and the pace of development is very much better than there is no errors like your ESR cannot be loaded and all blah blah blah. Everything is managed by SAP, so no need to worry about those things. And I have written a blog as well on the what are the advantages or why you should learn CPI. I'm going to share that in the WhatsApp group. You can go through that as well and let me know for any other question. Okay, so this is the screen that you're going to get into once you log into your CPI tenant. The first screen that you're going to see is the Discover section. So it is saying that 350 to around integration packages are available for various applications. If you see here, there is a list here. You can filter it out. There is an integration for S/4HANA. There is an integration for SuccessFactors. There is an integration from partners as well, and lot many. The product, you name it, and it is having the integration, and the list is growing. Let's say you want to do an integration for Salesforce. There is an integration available. Pre-packaged integration is available for Salesforce as well. Let's say if I want to do an integration with Salesforce, which is a non-SAP product. It is a cloud offering from salesforce.com, but these many integrations are possible out of the box, which is the most common integration. Definitely there can be a requirement based on your organization, your customer. They might to enhance into it. They want to use it as it is. Let's say if they want to use as it is, and this is the only requirement, then it would be an 1 hour, 2 hour on each interface that you will spend once you get the system detail to configure it, and rest is all testing. So the development time is reduced to at least 60-70% if you are going to use the pre-packaged integration. And most of the SAP products is already having, and it is not limited to SAP. It is around the other application as well. The peripheral systems are most commonly used integration that based on the learnings or the experience by SAP by now, they are bringing in those integration as well. But we are going to cover this in the later sessions in the program, how to use it, what are the other options. As of now, let us focus on the demo. Okay, so this is the space, the design space where we can go and build a demo. Okay, so there are many, there is already package that I have created which can be used. So package is the highest level of hierarchy under which you are going to build a artifact. So as of now I am using a standard one, but on day 3 I am going to show you a complete scenario where we'll build everything from scratch. Here we are going to build one integration flow. I'm going to call it as product demo or batch number 20. Okay, so when I create an integration flow, that is the basic building block of any integration that we are going to build. So for this particular demo, I am going to use a ODATA service, which is an API that I am going to use to build this integration. At the core of it, it is going to give me the basic building block for any integration, right? When I talked about that middleware screen, so I was having one sender application, one receiver application, and the middleware that is going to have the integration process in between. So this is how CPI is going to show you the basic components by itself, where you can start building the flow. So for this particular scenario, I'm going to send the request through SOAPUI or POSTMAN. Those are the tools that we are going to use. If you're not familiar with these tools, I'll send you a couple of videos, YouTube videos that you can look into and learn about it. But definitely there would be many scenarios that we are going to cover. So you will learn here as well. But to the very basic, you can go through that videos. Because our aim in this training program is to make you understand the more of CPI rather than just spending time on the very basic topic. We are not just consuming the time on those topics that you can learn by yourself as well, right? So we just focus on the main content of CPI. Each and every minute of it would be around the middleware that we're going to use. Okay, so here I'm going to use an HTTP adapter, which is just that I'm going to send some data from the test tool to CPI. Under the connection, I'm going to give a name to it. That okay, I'm going to send the data to this particular URL. So in this, I'm going to make a call to a external system, which in this case is going to be my ODATA service. And those who are coming with PI background, so there is no pipeline specific anything. You can use anything and everything here. But for others, just understand that okay, we are going to use ODATA service here, version 2 protocol, where we are going to fetch the records from a particular website. So before I build it, I'll show you that as well. Just give me a second. Okay, so I'm opening a particular website that is an option provided by SAP. It is called as web shop. So it is more or less similar to your any e-commerce website where we are having the product listed down here. Okay, I hope you can see the screen. So this is the space where I am having multiple products that are listed down. What is the details of it, what is the name of it, description, price. I can go and add to a cart. Let's say now this is the user interface. Let's say I want to buy this product, but not from this website. I want to build an integration in my middleware, let's say CPI. Let's say I'm looking for this Blaster Extreme multimedia speakers and I want to check the details of it. So let's say it is showing a price here, 26 euro, category speakers. This is the general information around it, and this is the supplier of it. And as such, there is no reviews. Let's say if I'm interested in buying this product, but I want to use this into my integration. Some of the customer is looking for this detail. I have to send this detail. But from here, there is no option that, okay, I can send this information to anyone until unless I just go to add to cart and buy it. As in like, until unless I want to send a screenshot of it or something like that. But that can be done for one product. Let's say if I want to get the data for 10 different products that are listed down here. So this is a UI, user interface that you are looking into, and you want to do the integration for it. From this particular website by SAP, they have provided a option to us in the form of ODATA, which we can use to build our integration. So I'm going to use that here now. So this is ODATA that we are going to use, and under the connection, I'm going to give the address of that service. So this is the service that is being used for this integration, and I'm going to go to the processing tab where I'm going to fetch the information that we are looking for. So under the resource path, when I click on it, by this time it is going to ask, okay, what is going to be the system with whom you are connecting, with which you are connecting. So it is going to be this address. So this is the API address. Okay, the overall API address that is located on that website, which you cannot just see by looking at the UI. And if I click on the next step, the connection is established, and I have to find out what entity or what is the information that I am looking for. There are many options under this API which I can use. but as of now I'm looking for a product information. Okay, I have selected the product entity. It is a UI which is helping me to build a query like a database query, and I can select all the fields or I can choose the specific field. So for the time being I'll select the all fields from this API, that okay, I need all the details from this API, and at the bottom simultaneously it is building a query for me. For example, product is the entity I have chosen. Select product ID, category, and all these fields from this particular product entity. Now probably there might be thousands of products that are available that I'm going to, if I put and run this query. So normally whenever we run a database query, we used to filter it with some values or top 10 results. So in this case, for example, I'm just going to put it top 5. So give me the top 5 records, which is added by now the moment I put 5 here. And the next thing is, if I want to put any filter here, that I can put it by this field, these options here. So it is a very good UI for ODATA or SOAP service also that is available, which I can use. Let's say I want to put a filter on product ID, but I'll show you later. First, let us try to fetch this information from that website. I'm going to get the data of product, top 5 product, and all those fields. I'll click on finish. So this is going to show me the query here as well. I'm not changing anything else here. I'll just go and deploy the flow. So that is, my development is complete to get the data from a ODATA service. Versus if I have to do the same thing in PIPO, I have to open 2 different tools, configure it, design it into a separate window, what is the structure of it, and then what is the system details, the configuration details. So it is going to save a lot of time on the development front. So on top of that, the new feature recently that was introduced is the development status. I click on deploy and I am getting the status here itself, that okay, this particular integration is deployed, it is available to be tested. Okay, and there is a detailed level of status here as well, which is showing me what time, by whom, what is the status of it that is being available. So we'll go to the monitoring tab. So I have created as a monitoring tab as a separate window, but the option is available from here itself. You can click on it and it will take you to the monitoring tab. If not, you can simply click on this and it will take you to the monitoring tab directly. So just for a better visual understanding, I have created a separate tab here. So this is the monitoring tab where you can find it out what is deployed. So here we can see the manage integration content, product demo batch 20 is deployed, and it has created a URL. So it is the URL that I need to put it into my test tool, or I can give it to my consumer application, any sender system, that okay, you send the data to this particular application. So I have copied to clipboard. I'll open SOAPUI. You can choose any tool that you are comfortable with, whether it is SOAPUI, POSTMAN, or HTTP client. Any tool that you are comfortable with will work here. So I'm just going to use any of the existing, let's say I'll just replace the URL. So I'm just using a pre-built query, but as of now I'm going to delete everything. I hope the credentials are okay, because why I have deleted, I'm not going to send any request, because my ODATA query is to fetch the top 5 records. So I'm using a get method there. I'm not posting anything. I'm going to get the top 5 records from this particular entity. So let us try it out. So this was the URL that was generated. Okay, so I did not send anything, any input, no XML validations like PIPO and all. It is, you can send anything and everything to this one. It is message payload agnostic if you are going to use HTTP protocol. So here what I have received is the product detail for the top 5 records. This is product 1, this is product 2, 3, 4 and 5. That's it. So I requested for top 5 records with all the fields and I have received it. This is how easy it can be, and simply you can build an integration in CPI. Definitely there would be more complex requirements, but just to get a basic scenario running, it hardly took 5 to 10 minutes with explanation to have a scenario built in CPI. No technical background required, no programming required. With the ease of understanding of XML, the basic knowledge, you can understand. So this is the XML result that is generated, which I think anybody can understand. It is having the information of products. Under that we are having a product, and these are the all fields, all the information around that product. Okay, what is the category, what is the weight, name, description and all. So this is how you can fetch the records from the top level. But let's say I had a requirement where I want to fetch the record based on a product ID. So what was the product ID that we have checked in our web shop? For example, this one, HT1091. So let's say I want to fetch the detail of only this product ID. So I can replace it here. Okay, HT1091. So what is the option that we are having here in CPI? So we are going to get this information from the source and then we'll use it. So how I can do it is, from here I can add a step called content modifier. As the name is suggesting, it is to modify the content of it or read the content of it. So I can define it as a property. So basically I am temporarily storing that information. Let's say I'm calling it as a prod ID, that okay, I'm going to read the data from the source and what is the data type of it. This is the product ID. This is coming from the XML from here that I'm going to read it. Okay, and I'm storing it as a property here. I'll explain you what is property, header and body into the later sessions. But as of now, understand that I am reading some data from the incoming message now. And I want to filter it on my query based on this product ID. So I'll go to my query again. Processing. The one option that we left was step 3, and let's say in this case I just want to read only few fields. I don't want to do read picture URL, the long description, supplier ID, weight. I'm just looking for specific fields, then I can do it. And I am not looking for top 5 results. I know what I want to filter it on. I'll use that condition now. Product ID is equal to, so I might have hard coded as well, but that is not a good option. So the option we can use it as is the storing it into property, and reading it is just very simple as plain English. Property dot, what is the name of the property that you have given? Property dot prod ID, in which I have stored that information. That's it. Now my query is looking like there is a filter that is being added. Filter product ID. Sorry, I just made a mistake. I have to go back. Less than equal to. The filter I have chosen is less than or equal. So my query is equal to. and here it is built as it. Filter product ID is equal to this what I have stored into my property. So let us redeploy it. So any change that you are going to make and test it again, you have to redeploy it. So it will give you the status here. So normally it takes around 30 seconds to 1 minute to get it deployed. And you can always check the live status here as well. And from the monitoring window also, you can go the overall status. What is the status? Okay, so it has started by now. So let us go and test it. So I want the detail of a specific product now. So I'll go and filter it and run the query on this one. So now in this case, I am getting the only few fields that I have selected, and the information is around that product. It was speakers, PC multimedia speaker, 10 watt, two-way, blaster extreme. If I compare that information from here, PC multimedia speaker, okay, blaster extreme, 26 euro. So all that information from that particular web shop or the e-commerce site, I am able to fetch it through the integration using CPI. So that is how you can build an integration in CPI. You can filter it out, you can get the top 10 records, top 5 records. It is user friendly, easy to build a integration in CPI. With that, I'll take a pause here. Any question on the demo, please feel free to ask.
So what was the website you checked for the API, right? API, which is SAP sample API.
Yeah, I'll share that into the WhatsApp group, the URL. So there is a demo website that is provided by SAP. You can use for that. And you can use any other freely available websites or the ODATA services that are available. Anything and everything is going to work here. I'll share it on WhatsApp group, don't worry.
Okay.
Hello.
Any other?
So, to use in the API, you just copied the ISO URL, right? How to create the display. Because you said it is already created.
Right. So a URL would be generated by itself once you deploy it, and that you have to use in SOAPUI.
No.
We are not going to build it separately.
No. No, but you didn't show that part, right? How it is created.
So what I have not shown?
No. You see here, the sample case, you have created a product ID, right? I mean, this sentence side.
Probably I did not get your question. So this is what is being generated, okay, when I deploy any iFlow in CPI. So this is the URL that you have to take to any of the test tools.
Yes, I'm just saying that. You haven't showed it,
yes,
right? How to use it. So UA, how to do.
Right. So even if you're changing anything, you are just redeploying that. So it is not going to create any new URL that time. It is going to be same URL. Okay. Any other question?
And also, why we have to create the content modifier? Because here, when you tested, right, you are already giving in the request, right, what you want to fetch. So,
right.
For one product, right? So, what is the purpose of the content modifier?
Yeah, I'll definitely explain you in the upcoming session, because at this point of time, because this is the building block. If you want to read something, so the short answer I have given you, that let's say if I want to read more than one product, or I don't want to hard code, then I'm storing it into a kind of variable you can understand as of now. because I'm going to read it from the input parameter. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where I don't want to hard code anything here. So when I used in the query, so it is not the direct input I have given. So I'm bringing it from a property that is stored. Because this is the way how you can read the data from the incoming message. Okay?
Okay.
Any other question?
Yes, one more thing. So, first, we have tried with no message, right? That was going to be message. And the second time, we had some message structure, right?
Right. So I just showed you.
So it is pre-built, right? So that's structure.
Yes. So any ODATA service that you are going to use, whether it is SAP provided or any other tool, you are going to get, once you give the URL, you are going to get the query modeler options graphically, because it is going to fetch the information from there, and you are going to get the way, whether you are using a SuccessFactors system or a Salesforce system, it will automatically bring in and build that data for you, build that structure for you. Sorry, Hari, your voice is a little bit shaking. There is a lot of disturbance. Yeah.
I'm asking, the source size structure, right? That is what you are showing me here.
Right.
Okay.
Any other question? Okay. If there is no other question as of now, you can ask it towards the end of the session as well. So there are just couple of more topics left that we are going to cover around the certification, what it is, and okay. Give me a minute. I'll be back just to hear. Thank you. So I was away. In case anybody asked a question, you can ask it again. I was away for a minute.
Yes, Prabhu. So the same scenario would have built in PO. So then I would have the source side structure, right? Source side some adapter, and its target will be ODATA adapter, but then there I need to have the XML structure to send it to particular.
Yeah, so in PI, if you have to build at the first place, you have to have the structures created in the ESR and all, right? So
yeah, that's what I'm asking. So if the same scenario I have now created in PO, then there will be a sender side XML to filter out the particular product, right?
Right. So here in CPI, we do not have an option to create any structure, so graphically and all. So most of the time we are going to use either XSDs or the WSDL files that I'll show you how to build it and how we can use it. But as such, there is no ESR kind of part as it was there in PIP.
So what will be always having, as you said, XST files and WSD files stored?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Moving on to SAP CPI certification. A lot of you are having an expectation that you want to get certified in CPI. Okay, so I'll take you through what it is going to take to get it certified in CPI. I myself is a certified consultant. My co-trainer is also certified. So we have already covered that. So this is the high level of breakup that goes in when you want to go for the CPI certification. Okay, whether it is iFlow, security, intelligent architect, enterprise, cloud native application development, monitoring, and we have aligned our course where we are going to cover at least 90-95% of the topics that are going to be there in CPI certification. So if I take you directly to the website where it is listed down, give me a second. CPI _13 is the latest certification that is there in CPI that you can go for, and most of the topics that are there you can relate it on our website as well. The course content is more or less related to that only. Okay, so these are the areas that I have shown you as well. So let's say under the iFlow development, so in fact we just covered the sender receiver integration. And let's say for example router, splitter, filter, basic scripting, adapters. So these are the topics I have already shown you in the course content that we are going to cover. Exception handling, transformation, that is mapping, the format conversion. So all of it is already there, part of the program. And if I take you to the, so there are two books that are for certifications, CLD 900 and CP 100. So this is a higher level of breakup that is given in the content wise, and if you are going to take it from SAP, it is going to cost you around 1 lakh, more than that for each. One is CLD 100 and then is CP 100. Or if I talk about any of this topic, the product overview, the building block, tenant management, that I'm going to cover into the second session itself. What is tenant management? Authorization we are going to cover under the security, operations and monitoring, the iFlow monitor, trace level. I have already told you that we are going to cover a separate session for monitoring rather than just the basic, or anything to do with security, the encryption, decoding, encoding. We are going to have, or if most of the topics are aligned, we are going to cover. And in case you feel that any topic is not being covered, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to cover that topic as well. That is listed as part of certification, or might be we missed it or we are not able to cover. Feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to cover that as part of the training program. Okay. Any question on the certification before I go to the last slide of the deck today? Any question on certification? Okay. So, okay. Thank you for joining in today and listening to me patiently and asking your relevant question. So before you go and choose us as your training partner, so I have listed down a few reasons why you can go with us, and it is based on our experience and all. So I want to tell you a few things. Okay. So first is live and practical session. So all the sessions that we are going to cover, it is live. There is nothing, the way I am conducting this session today, and we are going to take the questions up front, whether it was like, let's say for example, the product demo, you ask your relevant question, Similarly, we want all the sessions to be interactive so that nobody is getting bored or nobody just want to just listen to it and then get away from it. No. If you are not going to ask the question, we are the one who are going to ask you the question, so that we keep it interactive and we will share all the sessions live. We will build the interface iFlow in front of you. We might end up with errors as well, but we'll correct those there, find out the solution, and sometimes we deliberately show you an error so that how it is going to work in the real-time scenarios, that not everything is going to work in the first go. So that is how we have planned and structured our session. From a qualification perspective, as I mentioned, so we are having a pool of trainers. This time I am the one who is going to take, and Shri is the another trainer. So we are having a total of 15 plus years experience for me, and Shri is having 10 plus years of experience. And we do training in CPI, PIPO and Groovy. We have 150 plus students, those who have trained by now, and most of them have gone through certification as well. So 40 to 50 students have already certified. So it is not the number that I'm just showcasing here. You can go and check the real-time recommendation and the trust that is being there for us on our social media channels. You can go to LinkedIn. You can find the real-time recommendation from the real people. So that's where I do not put any testimonial on our website just to fake it, just to show it. Very candid and transparent. You might find people from an experience level of 18 years, from to a fresher, to a mid-level. So many people have recommended us. You can go and check it out by yourself. And they are from various brand names, organization as well. When it comes to value for money, you can go and check it out. Any competitor, our fee is very competitive. We are here not to just make the money out of this training program. Our vision is more than that. Our vision is to make a long-lasting relationship with you, where you can reach out to us anytime in training, before, after the training, anytime in your career, wherever you feel that you need some help. Reach out to us. The WhatsApp group that is being created, it is going to be there. We are not going to dissolve it unless you are going to leave it. So that is a small forum that is created for the like-minded people or the people in this particular batch. You can get and connected with it. And we have plans to even create a bigger forum for all the participants, where those who are trained till now. So we'll put all of you into a single forum where there will be more people like you, those who are learning, who are exploring, where you get to know each other. You can explore it. You can ask your queries. So anytime. And from a fee perspective, I make it a challenge. You can go and check it out. As I mentioned, we are not here just for the money. We want to create a relationship. We do freelancing as well. So any of your project that you are stuck with it, definitely any kind of guidance is free of cost, where we can guide you, we can provide you the solution if you can go and build it yourself. But there might be some complex requirements as well, where you might get stuck or anything. Let's say you're doing it for first time, you are not able to sail it through. Give us a call. Put it on the chat in the WhatsApp. Any kind of help that is required, the guidance, we can help you. Definitely we'll give it to you. But yes, if it is a hand holding that you want it for any particular scenario, we are there for you, but that comes with a price tag. Recordings, all the sessions would be recorded and available to you after 30 minutes of every session, unedited. We are not going to make any change. Whatever is being recorded live in the session, so that you can listen to it one more time and then get it through, understand it into one more time, and then practice it yourself. We are there on the social media, not on the likes of Facebook and all, where people just put everything and anything. On the real channels, the LinkedIn and the YouTube, and this number has grown up from last time. So previous batch we were having 1000 plus connections. It is almost 1200 connections on the LinkedIn, and it is all real people. So it is all the organic content that we are having, and this number also, because we put a lot of more videos on YouTube, so it is around 500 now. So you can connect to us. I'll send you the channel links on the WhatsApp group as well if I have not shared by now. So definitely you can check it out and find it out on the social media as well. Whether you are going to make a decision to be part of this particular batch or the next batch, do connect with us on the social media, because we keep on publishing the content on our channels as well, where you can get the up-to-date information on CPI or the various other in and around things, and you can connect with us. With that, I'll take a pause here. I'll be happy to take any question that you might have for today's session, for the demo, or that can help you to make a decision to go ahead and make a choice of going ahead with us for your training need in CPI. Thank you. Any questions are welcome.